So, welcome back to the Restoring Podcast, and we're interviewing Mr.
Demetrius Short.
So you want to tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, in my call, I run 3.1 miles in a suit and sneakers to help ignite, inspire, and transform lives. Every year, I go out to Shelby Park and I run 3.1 miles in a suit. We just did this 2 weeks ago with 650 runners. And we raised $10,000 to help college students stay in school. So that's my mission, is to ignite, inspire, and transform lives all over the world.
Wow, that's really cool. You got a question?
Like, when you were growing up, did you ever have like somebody that inspired you, like maybe a baseball player that was a big Christian or something?
Yeah, for me, I mean, really, it was my father. Grew up with 5 brothers and 1 sister, and grew up in the church. My dad was a head deacon at our church in Cincinnati, Ohio, so I grew up in the church. I was very influential. I was voted Mr. Mount Healthy, most popular person in school. I was a 3-sport athlete. I was a star quarterback, went 39-9 as a quarterback. I was a star point guard of the basketball team and the baseball team. So great people, mentors, and people in the church, and especially I built off of we call it the 4 horsemen. 4 of my best friends that we all were young and loved God and wasn't ashamed about it. So we all went through life's hurdles and life's ups and downs. So my parents, motivated me. My teachers inspired me, and also my friends in school also gave me the motivation to succeed and be great.
When you were younger, what did you want to be when you were younger?
Wow, I wanted to be a baseball player. I was always athletic, again, playing 3 sports since I was 6 years old. So I aspired to go to the NFL or go to the major leagues and play baseball. I mean, if I can do it all over again, I would probably stick to baseball. It was my best sport. Again, I had a tryout, with some teams here in Nashville in '96, but God didn't see it fit for me to go that way. So my platform now is just to be able to take my nonprofit organization, Transformation Life Center, and be all I can be. Through tragedy, I did not let my disappointments in athletics stop me and write the story for me in life. I turned my tragedy into a triumphant thing, and now I have a platform to help thousands of college students and youth and underserved youth and high schoolers like you all to become better in life. So I take pride in that, that I didn't make it, but now I have the opportunity to help you all make it and be successful. But if the major leagues want to pick me up, I think I still got it. I'll be happy to play shortstop and third base for any major league team. I'll ride the bench for $40 million.
So where did you go to college?
I went to Fisk University here in Nashville, Tennessee. Didn't know much about it. It is the first accredited historical black college and university. It's called an HBCU.
Let's go.
So HBCU, W.E.B. Du Bois, you may have heard of him. He's one of our famous alum, Republican John Lewis, and in Congress. He's one of our alum, Nikki Giovanni. I was afforded the great opportunity to go to Fisk, and I got a double major in computer science and business. Got my dream job with IBM. I've done some amazing things, and today I share over 28 years of software test as a software tester in the hospital and healthcare industry. I'm a QA manager for Signet Health Springs here in Nashville. So Fisk has done some amazing things. I bleed blue and gold, and I'm truly grateful for all that my university has done for me, and now all I'm able to do for it. Yesterday we gave $2,000 to Fisk University from the race and helped 4 students with $500 scholarships to continue their education. So it's been a great relationship with me and my university.
How did you meet Christ?
I met Christ reluctantly, kicking and screaming, as most of us do, right? Because, living in this flesh, the flesh wants you to do whatever it's big and bold enough to do. And as men, I love to see, you young men in this room, that you all are here, and not to be ashamed of Christ sounds easy, but it's not. Right. It's not easy, especially when you're popular and you have all the world and everybody's shining that flashlight. Oh, look at the Christian boy. Oh, look at the church boy. I was called church boy, this and that. But you know what? I turned that thing around and said, yeah, I am a church boy. And guess what? Real men love Christ. Right. Real men love God. I love God, not ashamed about it. So at 8 years old, again, my father was a head deacon. I had no choice but to go to church. He was a superintendent of Sunday school. We had to open the door to church every Sunday. I hated church. I want to sleep in on Sunday morning. But I'm so thankful now at 45 years of age for that nurturing and for that seed that was planted in me. And I inspire you all that it might not seem good right now, but to have this in your youth, so when you grow up and have the seeds and foundation of Christ in you, man, you couldn't have any better seed of opportunity planted in you for you to do and be great in life. Guess what? You're going to make some mistakes. I have. I pastored a church, made a mistake. Don't let the clergy collar, don't let the robe, don't let the pulpit fool you. We all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. But I'm so thankful for his blood that he shed on Calvary's cross for me to redeem me of all my wrong. And I'm truly excited about it. So at age 8, I gave my heart to Christ. I was baptized and began to serve him. And again, it's been up and down, but here I am 45 years old and still loving Christ and still not ashamed of that.
Okay, earlier you said that if you could go back to playing baseball, you'd pick any team. If you had a choice, what team would that be?
What team would I play for today? I would play for them Yankees. I would play for the Yankees. I've always loved the Yankees. Again, Cincinnati, got no shame, Cincinnati. I love you all. But my team I pull for are the Yankees. So again, the Bronx want to call me up, give me a call. I'll be willing and ready to put on the pinstripes.
The new Diddy Gregorius.
Yes, indeed. I want to CC Sabathia is getting ready to go out, so I love to play catch and try to hit one of his pitches.
If you could do it over again, like you tried out for the Atlanta Braves and everything, would there be anything you would change in college or like sport teams you played with? Like, would there be any Christians?
For me, it was work ethic. It's one thing to be athletic and just have a skill, but then there's something else to get up and really hone your craft. And I was athletic. I played again. I went from football to baseball with a breeze, baseball to basketball without a breeze. But to be honest, I kind of slid through because I didn't put in the extra work in the gym. And to go to the professionals, to go and play even college ball, there are millions of people trying out for 35 to 65 spots. And my dad kept it real. He said, Demetrius, there are millions of people. Now the game is even global. Mm-hmm. There are kids in Brazil with no shoes, and here we have LeBrons and KDs. These kids don't even have shoes on, and they're out in the middle of the night shooting, or in Cuba trying to save their family because they're impoverished, and they're being brought to the United States. If I can do anything over again, I would have been better in my work ethic, getting up in the morning, not because the coach said it's practice time, but getting up because I wanted to be better. And it's going to take you as men to get up. When your opponents get up at 5, you've got to get up at 4:30. Right. Chris Paul has it. I know Chris Paul, Farouk Aminu, Jeff Teague, Ishmael Smith, Kobe Bryant, all these guys. Kobe Bryant, as great as he is, guess what? If he knew Chris Paul was coming to the stadium and Chris was practicing at 10, Kobe would come in at 9:30. Yep. And Chris, you can Google it. Chris talks about it. Yep. This guy's in there dribbling the ball and letting me know it's going to be a game tomorrow, and you're not going to outwork me. So my work ethic, if I can go back over and do it all again, I would go back and really make sure I honed my craft, and maybe it would have made something different out of me. But you know what? I have it today in my job and in everything I do now, so you can correct it. And I'm better at my work ethic now. I'm a marathon runner. I run 26.1 miles in 4 hours and 10 minutes straight. I run 3.1 miles in a full suit with cufflinks and a tie and a handkerchief. Just did it last week in 22 minutes and raised thousands of dollars. So it's all made me better in my new craft as a marathon runner. And I'm doing an Ironman next year. 2.5 mile swim in the ocean, jump off out of the ocean, run a bike 115 miles, jump off the bike, and then run 26.1 miles. It may take me 8 to 14 hours, but I'm going to do it next year. Watch. Because of my work ethic.
So you said your dad was very involved in the church when you were younger.
Yes.
Did you ever feel kind of like a pressure, or that you were being held under like a magnifying glass?
Oh, all the time. I mean, part of the shame that I lived out later in life was that I lied to myself about the pressures of life. You know, being a Christian kid in school, and not everybody's not. That's not the popular thing. You sometimes want to fit in. You want to go with the flow. I love the Hebrew boys because what got them in trouble was their stand for Christ. Mm-hmm. They were the top. They were educated. What got them in trouble was they were successful, but they had a standard for Christ. Increased pressure, being liked. But who cares if God likes me? That's the best like I can ever have. Friends walked out on me because of my stand or for living for holiness. Then, hey, you know what? Let those people leave. You know, I take pride in knowing that I'm a believer. I'm not ashamed of that. And that does come with a lot of pressure, though, of being talked about. But you got to be strong enough to say, you know what? Yeah. For God I live, for God I die. Blessed be the name of the Lord. So I was able to handle it. Thoughts of peer pressure, and we all know what that is. Social pressure, wanting to be like, we all want to be like, right? I mean, who wants to live in a bubble? God didn't call us to live in a bubble. He calls us to live in an abundant life, and we can go out here, we can be successful CEOs and still love Christ. You don't have to run around sleeping around with women and doing all these things with everybody else. No, you can have a standard to say, no, I'm going to love my wife, I'm going to love my kids. And guess where it starts? It starts where you all are today. If you start when you get it, you're too late. It starts with you all right now, making that commitment to yourselves at 13, 14, 15, 16, and then you'll live it out later on. So I overcame the pressure and I loved it.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's all the time we have for today's podcast. Thank you for tuning in and watching. That's it. Yeah.
All right. These are the guys.